Welcome to a Tuesday afternoon. It's a pretty nice day. The weather is going to kind of stay as it is. So compared to last week and the week before in Central California, in the Bay Area, the weather is going to be much more manageable. Last week, the week before, 100-degree, triple-digit heat, records, heat advisories, heat warnings. This is a very, very different week, very much more what you would expect for this time of year. So that's the story. That's the weather story I'm going to be telling as we go through these graphics that you can have access to if you go to my links, and you can have access to these, and you can kind of just start interpreting them for yourselves. I'm a meteorologist. I went to Berkeley undergraduate climatology. I did postgraduate work at San Francisco State atmospheric science, AMS, CBM, all that stuff. But weather's an interesting thing. I mean, if you can start interpreting, like that's a visible satellite right there, visible. You can see it. It's a picture taken from space. Where's the fog? You don't need a meteorologist to tell you where the fog is. You don't need a meteorologist to tell you where the clear skies are, and where the smoke is, so on and so forth. So that's kind of my hope, is that as we walk forward through these graphics, you kind of start to embrace them. Because if you're watching this, if you're one of the 5 people watching this right now, you're going, I really want to know more about when the surf's good, when the fishing's good, when the skiing's good, you're living this stuff. So you need to own this stuff. You can't have somebody telling you the weather. You've got to kind of get into it yourself and then ask questions. And I get this all the time. People get really involved, and then they'll ask a question here or there, and I will give them an answer, and then they'll build on that knowledge more and more. There you go. That's what I want. Oh, and the second thing I want as I ramble is when I got a haircut. It's a haircut. My hair is so super easy. It's old man hair, but it's a haircut. Went to work yesterday, walk in the door. Hey, Bill, nice haircut. No, it wasn't that. It was, hey, Bill, you got a haircut. I wanted to hear nice haircut. Next person, hey, Bill, you got a haircut. Hey, Bill, you got literally the whole day yesterday. You got a haircut. I'm like, yeah. Do you like it? You don't. When somebody gets a haircut, man, you got to go either say nothing about the hair, right? Hey, Bill, stop. Or, hey, Bill, got a haircut. I like that. If you're going to do it, if you're going to comment on the hair, you got to say, I like it. You can't say, well, you could say, you got a haircut. I don't like it, but that'd be kind of a dick move. But if you go, hey, Bill, I like your haircut, instead of, hey, Bill, you got a haircut. It's just words to live by. That's all. So, and like I just said, so you don't need me to tell you, there's the fog. There's a little bit of smoke hanging up around the west slope of the Sierra Nevada. That's probably from some of the fires that are burning. There's no main fire that I can pick out. There's a bunch of fires, but they are all being managed beautifully by CAL FIRE right now, and will continue to be as the weather pattern does not show any aggressive wind symptoms or signals, right? And that's important, because if there was a wind event coming on or something like that, and you've got numerous fires burning around the state, then you got trouble, because you're not fighting. When you get big wind, you're not fighting fires. You're fighting them, but you're getting out of the way. You ask any firefighter, when you get into a firestorm, big winds, you just get out of the way. But these are the wind conditions right now. Let's see if I can draw an arrow here. I sure can. So most of the wind, see how the wind barb is going towards the dot? That's a northwest wind. That right there tells you it's a gust to 20. This is a west wind at Petaluma, 68 degrees and a west wind. So these little wind barbs, these surface barbs, yesterday we had a bunch of south wind like this, and then it was a little cooler. Today we've got more, overall, there's localized winds, but overall we've got the general direction seems to be north-northwest. Temperatures are running about where they were yesterday, not a heck of a lot different. The beach, there's no fog out there right now, right? That happened yesterday as well. Ocean Beach, San Francisco. This is Central Ocean Beach. You can see the fog is lifted. Now, what has happened? That inversion got deep again last night. Not as deep as it did the night before, but deep. And so when it gets super deep, the fog right offshore has difficult time forming. There's fog out there. You can certainly see that. And that fog will play into the forecast the next few mornings, but it's going to be less and less intrusive as we go through the week. So as we look at the fire weather, you can see the fires that are burning around the western United States. There's a bunch of them, but overall, you can see the ones with gray around them are fires that are basically out or contained or almost out. The full flame-ons without any brown around and without any, like this guy here, these fires are fires that are pretty actively burning. Let's see, I think we got some containment on this one. Let's see. We got, 40% containment on the rim fire. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we got a lot of fires burning, but it's not horrible. You go, oh my God, California's on fire. The West's on fire. Cal Fire knows what they're doing. I say this all the time, but there's some burn management going on right now. They're going, hey, listen, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no wind coming. We'll let it burn to this ridge line, and we'll paint the top of the ridge with fire retardant. And right, they know what they're doing because you want to manage the forest. That's one of the problems we have. Not only is our climate change, which is real and man-made, but what's really one of the big problems is we haven't, like Paradise, I grew up there. There hadn't been a fire in the town of Paradise that raged. I don't know if there had really since it was populated. We had them in the canyons, Butte Creek and the Feather River Canyon, but we never had one up on that ridge line up on by Pearson Road, Skyway, and Clark. And so that area had never really burned. Not in my lifetime, in my dad's lifetime either, I don't think. I can't think of a time. But that's what, and there was too much undergrowth. So CAL FIRE looks at these areas that haven't burned and go, if it's burning and there's nobody living there and we can save structures and we can let this thing clean itself, that's what they're doing. Okay, air quality, we can take a peek here and it looks pretty good, right? Green, this is purple air, good site, good sources. Pop down to LA, that'll populate. LA, I think that's pretty much standard op for them, those yellows representing not the best of air quality. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at, I know what I want to do. I should have showed this to you sooner, but I'm going to show it to you now. Okay, so let's see. Oops, I didn't want that. Bear with me. I wanted this right here. Okay, this is awesome. Okay, so this area here, get my arrow. This is yesterday's profiler, remember? And you see how deep it was? It was up to about, the tip of the arrow is current time, essentially. The tip of that arrow was at about 2,800 feet, right? So that's how deep the blue area is, the cooler air, the warmer air to the top. That line between the cool and the hot air, the blues and the yellows, that's essentially your inversion. That's yesterday. Ooh, what happened today? Well, there's yesterday, last night. Look what happened. The inversion pinched down. Today, it's down to about 1,800 feet. Oh, by the way, that's still pretty deep, but it's not as deep. And so when you see the inversion, this is from Fort Ord Profiler, that's what's going to happen this whole week. And then the next day, it's going to get a little shallower. And the next day, it's going to get a little shallower. And when you get into these heat waves, it's almost non-existent. It's pinched way down. So I wanted to show you that because we are headed for a warm-up, but it's a gradual one as that inversion, as that Fort Ord Profiler pinches down. So that is on my links page. I think that's one of the more, in the summer months, in the winter, I rarely use it. In the summer months, you live with the profilers. All right, this is the forecast. This is GFS. I just use this because it's easy access and it's, it's kind of down the middle with a lot of the models. So right here, I don't like the color of my cursor, but that's how it's going to be. You can see where we are right here. See if you can keep your eye on that area. The heat shows up today, but see how it's kind of dipped? See how it's dipped in here a little bit? That's us. That's the sea breeze protecting us from the heat. And then as you go forward into tomorrow, the next day, what is this? This is Thursday afternoon. You see the heat in the Central Valley, but you see a continued depression there. And that happens all the way through. Now, Tuesday of next week is one of our warmer days. See that there? But we still have this divot. What that means, probably Monday and Tuesday for the Bay Area next week, the inland Bay Valleys are going to get back into the mid and upper 90s. Okay? But it does not appear we're going to be under a heat advisory. Sacramento will be in the triple digits. Not all that unusual for this time of year. So that's a lot. I know, it's a lot. The haircut thing, it's a lot. The 5-day forecast, you see temperatures ratchet up. We got a good pattern, is what I'm getting at. Now, next week, it'll start to heat up a little bit. And with that heat up will come the usual stuff like, okay, we may see some kind of an air quality alert maybe for the Bay Area. The Tuesday event doesn't look big for us, as I pointed out, but it looks like it's going to be above average in the inland Bay Valley, certainly with low 100s. All right, hope you have a nice day. I like your haircut.